What's up, guys? My name is Rob, and welcome back to Rule of Two Review, and today it's my first official E3 video for 2015. So I've slowly been plotting and planning some of my E3 hype videos because, as I've said a few times on Rule of Two Review before, one of the coolest things about the new year every year is that it feels almost immediate that we want to start getting hyped and excited for E3 that year. I don't know why, but as soon as it's January 1st, it's like, what's going to be happening at E3? We're already talking about it. We're already thinking about it. At least that's true for me and a lot of my friends. We start getting excited about E3 as soon as we possibly can. So here we are now early in February, and I've already been thinking about some of the things I wanted to do to start kind of getting prepared and make a bunch of videos and get other people just excited for the show as I'm going to be. And then this piece of news came out today that I really didn't expect, and it turned out that it became my first really good opportunity to talk about this year's show. So this piece of news is that it turns out that Bethesda Softworks, one of my favorite game development studios in existence, will for the first time ever be holding its own E3 press conference this year in 2015. That's pretty cool because, of course, Bethesda Softworks and its Bethesda Game Studios division are known for two of the biggest franchises in gaming, which are also two of my favorite franchises in gaming. That, of course, are the very obvious The Elder Scrolls and Fallout. Now, there's a couple of other things that they do. id Softworks is actually one of the other divisions of Bethesda Softworks, or is it id Game Studios? I can't remember. id ID, the company responsible for Doom and a couple of other really great things, like Quake and whatnot. It is, okay, id Software. There it is right there, not Softworks. I'm an idiot. So Bethesda Softworks and id Software. id Software, another division of Bethesda, really great studio, very exciting time to be a fan of that studio as well. So it's pretty cool to know that they finally decided to branch out and hold their own E3 press conference. I feel like this means that they have a lot of significant news to share. And what is it that they're going to be sharing? Well, you got to feel like it's some of the really big pieces of news that people have been theorizing about for a long time. So I'm going to talk about those two big game series first, because of course, like I said, they are very, very important to me. Now, The Elder Scrolls. We do know that the last Elder Scrolls release was last year's Elder Scrolls Online, which I certainly wanted to try, but I'm not an MMO guy, so I haven't played it. Also, I heard some good things, but I also heard a lot of mediocre and bad things, so I just don't know how that's going to be playing out. What's very interesting to note is that The Elder Scrolls Online, the Tamriel Unlimited Edition, whatever that full name is, which is going to be the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One version, launches really soon before the E3 press conference, which theirs is dated for June 14th, by the way. I didn't have a chance to bring that up, but June 14th will officially be the date that they're going to be having their conference for E3. The console version of The Elder Scrolls Online will release just before that. So I don't know if that means that that's going to open up the floodgates for them to talk more about The Elder Scrolls, or if that means that, hey, they're just going to kind of get Elder Scrolls out of the way, release the online version of the game for the consoles just beforehand, and just sort of let it be. I kind of don't think that we will be seeing The Elder Scrolls 6. I know that we all want it. I am dying for it. Skyrim is one of the best games I've ever played, bar none. Still love that game today. So the idea of Elder Scrolls 6 is just so massively exciting, but I just don't feel like we're there yet. And the number one reason I don't feel like we're there yet is because I feel like it is finally, officially going to be time for Fallout 4. Yes, Fallout 4 has to be happening soon. Why else would Bethesda finally step up and say, hey, it's time for us to really bring ourselves back into the public limelight. We want to have an E3 press conference all our own. That means they have a bunch of stuff to show. If you have one or two things, you don't have your own press conference. That means you've got a bunch of things to show that's worthy of an hour or an hour and a half of everyone's time to be able to stream online and invite people in to a huge auditorium to watch your presentation. They've got a bunch of things to show. Fallout 4 has been rumored for far too freaking long for them to not announce and show and talk about it on this stage show June 14th this year. They have to be doing it. It's interesting because in the early days of Rule of Two Review, now going back over a year ago, there was a lot of rumors, and there was that hoax website that was, counting down to a Fallout 4 announcement. And some of the early videos I was actually making for the channel had to do with my theories of Fallout 4, what the game would be like, and if the game was even coming when those rumors were happening. So to know that we might be able to finally come full circle and have a Fallout 4 official announcement is just so exciting. Not to mention that I would die inside with happiness just knowing it's finally confirmed, announced, and coming. I really want to get a, I guess I shouldn't say a title because it should only be called Fallout 4, but I want to see if if the whole oh god, what is that stupid organization called? I can't remember now. They said that it's going to maybe be set in Boston, and deal with the Commonwealth. Thank God, and deal with the Commonwealth, who's alluded to, and you kind of run into the Commonwealth and deal with them in Fallout 3 in New Vegas. So it'd be really great to be able to see that delivered. But I don't really care what it's going to be, whether that rumor is true or not. I just want to see what Fallout 4 is going to be. If Bethesda's finally, like I said, stepping up to have a press conference, I feel like that means Fallout 4 is coming. I don't think we're going to see the Elder Scrolls 6. Also, Doom 4 was announced last year, of course, as we know. So it seems like this is another opportune time for them to also be able to show that off. I feel like their two flagship titles that they're going to spend the most time on, or at least make the biggest reveals for their first ever E3 show, has got to be Fallout 4 and Doom 4. Of course, at BlizzCon last year, we did see and hear about Doom 4. We only saw, the only thing that was released publicly and released online was like a CG trailer that kind of just showed like one of the demon monsters, and then it was like, oh, Doom 4 is coming the end, and okay. But at BlizzCon, we do know that they showed some multiplayer gameplay that was never released to the public, so none of us have ever seen it who weren't at BlizzCon last year. So I think that they're finally going to be talking about Doom. I think that that's really, really exciting. You know, I'm a huge Doom fan. I grew up at a time where Doom was a pioneer in the industry. I remember I was gaming before Wolfenstein and the first Doom, before the first-person shooter was even thought of as a genre. And I remember the craze of these games when they did show up and what it was like to be playing this like mature, violent, bloody game. Even though it was primitive graphics, it was super cutting edge at the time. And just playing in first person was the coolest thing. It was so mind-blowing. And so I love the idea of one of the pioneers of the industry, or of that genre, I should say, coming back for a 2015 or 2016 release. Like, that's really exciting. And another great opportunity for Bethesda to show off this new title and finally give the rest of the world an idea of what Doom 4 is going to be like. Now, as far as what else they might have to show, who knows? What I'm really hoping for is a new IP from one of the other studios that they do have. There are a couple of other things, Bethesda Softworks, that, for all we know, could show up. Arcane Studios is what created the Dishonored game, so maybe they're going to work on a sequel to that or something else in that universe. I think that Dishonored has the potential to kind of do something like what BioShock did, where it branches out into some other territory. That would be pretty cool. There's Battlecry Studios. There's another one here. Machine Games, which of course was responsible for Wolfenstein: The New Order, which is a game that people really, really liked, and I actually really want to try that game. There's a couple things that they could kind of show if they really wanted to. Like I said, my biggest hope outside of those two games, and maybe 3, I don't know, maybe they will talk about the Elder Scrolls 6, who knows. But, besides those major releases and announcements, I would love to see something new. What else is Bethesda working on? It's a great studio. They've done a ton of great things. They even worked on, just very recently, The Evil Within, which I love to death. It was one of my favorite games last year. So, they do a lot of different things on the development and publishing side. They've got a couple of different studios and divisions, like I said, Bethesda Game Studios, id Software, Arcane Studios, Battlecry Studios. There's a lot going on there. What is it that they're going to be doing? If this is the first year where they felt that they have enough content to be able to have their own stage show, I think that means that there's a lot of cool things coming. Hopefully it's mostly surprises. Yes, we want Doom. Yes, we want Fallout, but also bring us some surprises. This is what E3 is about. That is what it means to take the stage during that holy week in all of the video game kingdom and say, this is what we have. Get excited. Bam. Here you go. So, like I said at the beginning of this video, I love Bethesda. They're one of my favorite studios. They're incredibly talented game makers, and I want more Elder Scrolls, and I really want more Fallout. Fallout 4 is my number one wish. I know that last year when I made my top 5 most wanted games, Fallout 4 made that list, and it's going to make that list again until we hear otherwise. So, that's pretty much it. Bethesda, it's the first news we have officially confirmed about E3 this year. It's the first time one of the biggest studios in the biz is finally going to have its own press show. Hopefully that means it becomes a standard for the years going ahead too. What do you guys think? Are you fans of Bethesda? Are you not? Are you excited for what it is they might be showing? Are you a Doom fan? Are you a Fallout fan? Elder Scrolls, Wolfenstein, any of this other stuff? What is it you hope to see from Bethesda this year? And of course, thanks for tuning in, guys. Please feel free to subscribe to Rule of 2 Review if you haven't already. Like and share the video. Follow the links below to the Facebook page and the Twitter, both of which I run. Share your comments and your thoughts about Bethesda at E3 below. Thanks again for tuning in, and I will catch you guys on another video for Rule of 2 Review.